The streets of Manila buzzed with life as the evening sun dipped behind the skyline, painting everything gold. Amid the chaos of honking jeepneys and shouting vendors, a small girl named Lovers Cabrera stood barefoot beside her mother's fruit stand, singing softly to the crowd. Her voice floated above the noise, clear, powerful, and heartbreakingly beautiful. People stopped to listen, some recording, others simply staring in awe. Singing wasn't just a dream for lovers, it was survival. Each song helped her mother earn a little more to feed them for the night. But tonight, something felt different. Among the crowd stood a man holding his phone high, recording every note as if he'd just discovered treasure. When she finished, the man approached with tears in his eyes. "You have a gift, little one," he said, promising to share her voice with the world. Lovers smiled shyly, not knowing those words would soon change her life forever. That night, the man uploaded her video online. Within days, it went viral, millions watched, shared, and commented. "This girl is an angel. She deserves a stage." Soon, a letter arrived, an invitation for Lovers Cabrera to audition for The Voice Kids Philippines. Her mother's hands shook as she read it aloud. For a moment, the noise of Manila faded away, replaced by tears, laughter, and hope. Lovers looked at the sky and whispered, "Mama, maybe this is our miracle." The day of the audition came faster than Lovers Cabrera could have imagined. She stood backstage at The Voice Kids Philippines, her small hands trembling as she held the microphone close to her chest. The bright lights from the stage spilled through the curtains, blinding and beautiful. Around her, other contestants practiced their songs, their voices echoing in the hallway, but Lovers stayed quiet, whispering a prayer under her breath. She thought of her mother back home, sitting by the fruit stand, watching the old TV with tears in her eyes, telling every customer, "That's my daughter." When the stage manager called her name, Lover's heart pounded so hard she could barely breathe. She stepped out, and for a moment, the crowd noise faded, the world stood still. The judges smiled encouragingly, but she could see the legendary Simon Cowell among them, his expression unreadable. Lovers closed her eyes, remembering her mother's voice telling her, "Sing like you're talking to God." The music began. Her fear melted away as the first note left her lips, soft, trembling, but full of soul. Each word carried the weight of every struggle she and her mother had faced. The audience leaned forward, spellbound. By the time the chorus arrived, her voice had filled every corner of the room. And when she hit the final note, long and pure, the crowd erupted. One judge wiped away a tear, and even Simon Cowell stood, speechless, his eyes wide with disbelief. When the last note faded into silence, Lovers Cabrera stood frozen, her tiny chest rising and falling, unsure if she had done enough. Then the audience erupted into thunderous applause that seemed to shake the walls. One by one, the judges rose to their feet, their eyes glistening. Simon Cowell, known for his brutal honesty, leaned forward, his expression softening in a way no one expected. "You have a voice that doesn't just sing, it tells a story," he said, his tone almost reverent. The words hit Lovers like sunlight after a storm. Tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, "Thank you, sir." Another judge added, "You made us feel every word, every note." Lovers pressed her hands together, bowing deeply, overwhelmed by the love surrounding her. Cameras flashed, capturing the moment a barefoot girl from the streets of Manila stunned the world. Backstage, she ran into her mother's arms, both of them crying, their hearts too full for words. For the first time, her mother didn't have to imagine a better future, she could see it, standing right in front of her. As the show ended, fans from around the world began sharing her performance online, calling her the voice of hope. Lovers didn't know if she would win the competition, but it didn't matter. That night, she realized something far greater. Her song had touched hearts across oceans, proving that dreams born in struggle can echo forever. Days after her unforgettable audition, Lovers Cabrera's life changed completely. Everywhere she went, people recognized her, the little girl with the golden voice. Strangers stopped her on the streets, asking for pictures or simply to say, "You made us cry." But despite the attention, Lovers stayed humble, still helping her mother at the fruit stand every morning. Fame hadn't changed her heart, it had only deepened her gratitude. One afternoon, as she was peeling mangoes, a small boy approached shyly, holding a torn piece of paper. "8 Lovers," he said softly, "I watched you on TV. I want to sing like you one day." She knelt down, smiled, and handed him the sweetest mango from the basket. "Then promise me," she said gently, "you'll never stop singing, no matter how hard life gets." The boy nodded, his eyes wide with hope. Lovers realized in that moment that her voice had become more than just sound, it was a message. That night, she sang at a charity event for orphan children, her song echoing through the hall like a warm embrace. Even Simon Cowell, watching from abroad, posted her performance online with the caption, "Pure soul. No auto-tune. Just heart." The video reached millions, inspiring children from every corner of the world. Lovers smiled, not for fame or fortune, but because her music was doing what it was always meant to do: heal hearts, spread kindness, and remind people that hope can come from the humblest beginnings. Weeks passed, and Lovers Cabrera's journey on The Voice Kids Philippines became a story that everyone followed. Each week, she sang with more confidence, her voice growing richer, deeper, filled with emotion far beyond her years. One night, she chose a song close to her heart, a classic ballad she used to sing beside her mother's fruit stand. Before she began, she spoke softly into the mic, "This song is for my mama, who taught me that dreams don't need money, just courage." The audience fell silent. Then the music began, and her voice carried through the hall like a prayer. Every lyric trembled with love and longing. Her mother, seated in the front row for the first time, pressed her hand to her chest, tears streaming down her face. When the song ended, the crowd stood, clapping and crying. Simon Cowell, visibly emotional, said, "That performance wasn't just beautiful, it was truth. You reminded all of us why music matters." Lovers couldn't hold back her tears as she ran to her mother and hugged her tightly. Cameras flashed, capturing a moment that would be replayed around the world. A daughter's love turned into a song that moved millions. In that moment, she didn't feel like a contestant anymore. She felt like the little girl from Manila who had finally given her mother the one thing she had always dreamed of: pride, joy, and a reason to believe that miracles are real. Months later, the bright lights of The Voice Kids Philippines faded, but Lovers Cabrera's voice continued to shine across the world. Though she didn't take home the trophy, she won something far greater: the hearts of millions. Invitations poured in from schools, charity events, and television shows. Yet, she never forgot where she came from. She and her mother still lived humbly, spending weekends visiting orphanages and hospitals, singing for children who needed hope the most. One afternoon, after performing for a group of kids with cancer, a little girl whispered, "When you sing, it doesn't hurt anymore." Those words stayed with Lovers longer than any applause ever could. She realized her voice wasn't just her gift, it was her purpose. Simon Cowell later invited her to perform in an international event, calling her "the voice that reminds us of humanity." Standing under the spotlight once again, Lovers sang not for fame, but for every dreamer who thought they weren't enough. Her melody floated across the room, wrapping everyone in warmth and love. When the song ended, the crowd rose to their feet, and somewhere deep inside, she felt her mother's proud eyes watching her. Lovers Cabrera had come from the streets of Manila, but her heart, and her voice, had touched the world, proving that no dream is too small and no beginning too humble when it's fueled by love and courage.